We were lied to during Obama, during Trump, and during Biden. We were the envy of the world. We were watching the money velocity, or the rate at which cash moves through the economy, drop through the entire tenure of these three presidents. You can't have a booming economy or even a well-functioning economy if the money velocity isn't at least static or moving higher. We've been dropping, but imagine if one of these presidential selectees said, hold on a minute, guys, let's look at this. See, they have the opportunity to tell people the truth, but they can't. Why? Because they are working for the Fed to sell the Fed's plan. And guess what, everyone?
You're watching Silver News Daily. Subscribe for more.
Did you know that silver could be on the verge of its biggest explosion yet? Gregory Mannarino has just laid out why silver is set to skyrocket, and it's happening sooner than you think. This isn't just speculation. This is based on facts you won't believe until you hear them. Stick around, because in the next few minutes, we're breaking down exactly how silver is positioned to blow past expectations, and what this means for you as an investor. You can't afford to miss this.
And with that said, I hope that people are taking the right action here. If you are in anywhere around here that's in an evacuation zone and you're not leaving, you got to get out of here. Recently, I went over to St. Armand Circle, which is a place I go to all the time here. Was devastated by the last hurricane, way worse than I thought. I saw it on TV and didn't do it justice. So I'm telling people, listen to, if you're told to leave, go, honestly. And if you feel like you're in a secure place, so that's okay too. As long as your faith is in the right place, I'm sure you're going to be okay.
Before we dive into the market's current frenzy over silver, let's take a step back and look at something incredible. Did you know that silver's history of value stretches back thousands of years? In fact, archaeologists recently uncovered a hoard of silver dating as far back as the late Bronze Age in northern Israel. Imagine, these ancient civilizations recognized silver's power as a store of wealth, hiding their treasures during times of turmoil. What does this tell us today? That silver has always been a go-to asset in uncertain times. Just like those ancient treasures, silver is once again becoming a safe haven in a world of economic instability. And with the market conditions we're facing now, its value could be ready to surge like never before.
Absolutely. Let's start off with this. And it's always the same story. We see this time and time again. People get blindsided because, it's a very interesting phenomenon. People are so used to being lied to, deceived, and distracted, told to look here when they should be looking over there. So when a crisis hits, whether it's a financial one or and whatever's happening here, and there's a lot of speculation as to what's actually going on here. But anyway, we won't even go there. But with regard to, look, nobody knows until everybody knows. And when everybody knows, it's too late. So you got to it's the truth. You got to take action now. Look, man, you and me, and there's other guys and girls out here that have been so far ahead of the curve on this, explaining to people the situation. Look, it's not hard, and as you well know, to connect the dots. That's all I do. I look at the situation here. I'm a macro guy. Everybody knows that. And then I kind of zero in on the minutia. But what matters to me is what the big picture is here. Now, if we understand, again, going back to the current situation here, central banks run it all. I mean, there are still people locked in a delusion that it's kings, presidents, and dictators, whoever that run this world. It's not run by them at all. The economy is run by central banks. The monetary system is run by central banks. The financial system itself is run by central banks. The markets are all run by central banks. They control everything. They're the ones responsible for everything that we're seeing here. Nothing is by accident. The fact that the system is coming apart piece by piece, being systematically and methodically deconstructed, the debasement of the currency, the artificially suppressed rates, what we're hearing out of the mouths of both presidential selectees with promises of, again, selling the Federal Reserve's plan. Wake up, people. Okay, it's unbelievable. But again, taking action here, understanding that, again, look, what we're doing here is hedging ourselves by betting against the debt and becoming our own central bank. What that means is very simply to hold on to assets which have been real money for thousands and thousands and thousands of years here. And, again, we're going to hear tale after lie, after deception that gold and silver are not real money. It's central banks that have, they control the system. It's their system. It's what they issue.
Now, fast forward to today, and silver is making headlines for all the right reasons. Just recently, we saw silver break past the critical $31.00 mark, something that has investors and analysts buzzing. And this isn't just a fluke. The market's momentum is shifting. Experts are now predicting that silver is poised to hit new highs, with targets set at $31.70, $32.50, and even beyond. Why? Because silver has been steadily recovering from a recent dip, and the technical indicators are showing strong signs of a bullish run. With inflation fears, economic uncertainty, and mixed signals coming from the U.S. jobs data, silver is becoming more attractive to investors looking for a safe haven. If it continues to hold above that $31.00 support, we could be looking at a massive rise in the near term. The real question is, are you positioned to take advantage of this breakout before it's too late?
To the world is debt. It's not real money here. To bet against the system here, you need to be on the opposite side of that trade. I don't know another way to say this, and that is, again, holding hard assets. Silver, my most favorite asset of all time. Gold comes in second. Platinum, palladium. I'm not talking about physical here. I'm not talking about the ETFs. I'm not talking about, a derivative. I'm talking about the actual assets here. We're holding look, to understand the system is very simple. You just you look for where cash is moving through the system. It's not hard to follow. People generally don't know where to look, and that's your problem. That's why people can be lied to. They can be duped. They can be deceived because they don't understand how the cash is flowing through the system here. What do we have? We have an economy here in the United States and around the world which is contracting faster and faster here. Manufacturing, factory activity here in the United States, non-existent. Factory orders gone. Debts and deficits hyper-ballooning. All the things that you and me have been telling people what happened from years ago. Here it is, man. I mean, come on. Where's the proof that you and I are actually making a positive difference in the world? Because we've called these things, and here they are happening now. Period. And where we are, understanding with just connecting these dots allows us to make very, very good calls as to where things are going to go. People don't see that now. Then they're completely lost. And again, it's the game. It's the charade that is played out in front of the people here. This person says this and this person says that. They're all lies and deceptions and distractions here. We got to focus on each other here. We need each other. We are each other's keepers in many ways here. But again, you wouldn't know that. We're supposed to hate each other's guts. Look, these people hate these people. Again, divide and conquer. People can't come together on a single issue. We cannot elicit change, and they're laughing at us. But again, look, man, going back to betting against the system, becoming your own central bank, it's very simple. Just hold a hard asset again, because if we realize the hyper debt situation here, it's coming apart. And how do we know that? We have right now, we're being told that our economy is so great. We're the envy of the world here. Why is it that central banks right now are implementing emergency monetary policy? Why did it not come up not once during the presidential debate, nor the vice presidential debate? Not a question about monetary policy, not a question about what the Federal Reserve is doing. Nothing, zero, because you can't be allowed to. So these people, all of them, both of them, Trump and Kamala, they work for the Fed. They're selling the Fed's plan. The Fed's plan is to artificially suppress rates, obviously debase the currency, the polar opposite of what we need to rebuild the system. But then again, people were aware of that. Then they would be, singing a different tune. But they got us, man. It's unfortunate. But it's good that there are people that follow our work, you and me, you included, dude. I am so honored to know you for so long. The fact that you're out here doing what you're doing for so long, trying to wake up people, making them understand what's actually happening to them. Because look, we are the gross minority here, but every revolution, every solution starts out with a gross minority. And we're making a difference. I know we are, because I hear from people every day, just like you do too. And I'm saying, thank God that we've been given this platform, and we're still out here. So that's pretty. I think that says something.
Let's move on to step 4. Global silver bull market. This step will expand the discussion beyond the U.S. market and focus on the global momentum behind silver, showing how the bull market is already unfolding in several currencies. What's even more fascinating is that this silver rally isn't just a U.S. story, it's a global phenomenon. While many are focused on silver priced in U.S. dollars, silver has already hit new all-time highs in several other major currencies. In countries like India, Australia, and even Canada, silver has been making record-breaking moves. That's right, silver has already hit all-time highs in the Indian rupee and Australian dollar, with the euro and Canadian dollar not far behind. This isn't just a coincidence. The global demand for silver is surging, driven by both emerging markets and developed economies. Investors around the world are waking up to silver's potential as a hedge against inflation and economic uncertainty. And here's the kicker: silver in USD is lagging behind. But that could change very soon. So the question is, are you only watching silver in dollars, or are you seeing the bigger picture?
People have been duped on a scale that is unimaginable into believing that the illusion is real. The illusion has become real to people here. Those digits on the screen that they see, they believe they're real. These that they actually exist. They don't exist. They're not on the elemental chart. And the mechanism here is, again, keeping the stock. It's an incredible thing. Right here in the United States, just last Friday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, just 2 days ago, hit a new record high. People equate the market to the economy. It's an illusion. It's not real. It's easy money, oceans of it that have been pumped into the system here. And I've been warning and trying to at least enlighten people that the last 3 presidents here in the United States have done more to work with the Federal Reserve than every president before them combined to inflate the debt. The system, as you said, is insolvent. It operates in a perpetual vacuum, which can never be filled. In fact, it must be filled exponentially just to maintain the illusion of where we are. This is all an illusion that people are putting their full faith and credit and whatever else, their very souls and lives into. They believe it's real. It's going to be removed. It's being removed. What they're doing here is a crime on a scale that has never been seen before. People are being disenfranchised. People are being made slaves to the system that they themselves are coming apart. What just happened? I don't even know if I just found this out myself, that Visa is now introducing a tokenized asset platform. In other words, it's begun. Last December, I put out a paper detailing specifically how this new tokenized system is going to work. Everything is going to be reduced into a derivative. It's a method of control. They're going to track and trace everything you do. As a matter of fact, it gets way worse than that. Everything you can imagine is going to be reduced into a token. Even, for example, your life expectancy, what drugs you may take, what you may earn in the future. This system here, this one world government that we've been warned about, is happening. Central banks working in concert to bring this about. It's an incredible thing. But again, people, what's going to end up happening here, and it's just too obvious to me, okay? We have to just look back a little bit here and to understand what was actually going on during the meltdown of '08. What people think it was all about a market crash. It really wasn't. The market crash was a side effect of what was underlying this whole thing. And we were entering a freezing up of the system, a locking up. Credit was stopping to flow. Credit, debt, one and the same. What that means is, again, that's what they're going to utilize again as a method, and it's not going to be by accident, of course, to institute their new system. The fact that Visa now is implementing this tokenized asset program, which is going to start out, as you would expect, a blockchain to streamline cryptocurrency. What are we hearing here in the United States? We're going to be the crypto capital of the world, not the constitutional money.
Here's where things get really interesting. Gregory Mannarino has been sounding the alarm for years about the manipulation of the financial system, particularly by central banks. According to him, it's not presidents or politicians who control the economy, it's the central banks. They're pulling the strings, flooding the system with cheap money, keeping interest rates artificially low, and printing more debt than ever before. And who suffers the most? Everyday people. But here's the opportunity. As central banks continue to devalue fiat currencies, Silver becomes one of the few assets that can truly protect your wealth. Mannarino talks about becoming your own central bank by holding silver and gold. These assets have stood the test of time, holding their value for thousands of years. And right now, silver is looking like the best way to hedge against inflation, currency debasement, and the financial chaos being engineered by these central institutions.
Capital of the world, the crypto capital of the world. And I'll tell you something that really bothers me. I don't know if this bothers you too, but it really does here. How this Elon Musk guy, who I don't trust at all, is being sold to us as he's going to be the government waste czar. Let's see. Let's put that into perspective. A guy here who is an AI expert, probably one of the premier in the world, who has, again, it was all about tokenization, and we're going to put him in as the waste czar? No, he's being put there to help bring about the new system. But people have been brainwashed and they believe that's true. That's where we're going here. I've been warning about it. In fact, I just did a video this morning about it. But again, people are so overexposed to this illusion here, and it's being done on purpose. So they can take everything away from them in the blink of an eye, then say, hold on, everybody. We have a problem, but guess what? We have a solution for you. And the solution is going to be this new digital blockchain tokenized system. Get used to it, people. Ain't going to stop. We already see the setup here. We know how it's going to be rolled out. It's already started. Please do your own research on this. Visa just started. This was 3 days ago, right under everyone's nose. And no one even knew about it. In fact, I didn't even know about it. I found out from someone that follows my work is that they say, Greg, you're 100% right. Now they're starting to use the system. They're utilizing it. And again, so it's going to start out small. It's going to be all encompassing here. But again, look, man, yes, from a financial standpoint, I believe that people that follow our work, they're in the right spots here, but it goes way beyond that, man. It goes way beyond that. We really do need to come together because again, we are going to need to rely on each other and we're not all going to make it. I've told people this for a very long time. I'm going to say it right here on your channel. Again, they want to reduce the population of this planet by at least half. It's going to happen either by so-called natural disasters, by war, by disease, whatever they can do, but it's about control. It's much easier, and you're going to allow the people to destroy themselves. Again, pandemonium in the streets is going to unfold here when the system locks up. Again, credit freeze, liquidity. We're in a full-blown liquidity crisis right now. How do we know that? Because at the same time, we got the world economy contracting at its fastest pace ever. What are central banks doing? They're ballooning the money supply. They're ballooning it. They're obviously massively purchasing power negative for the currency, not just for the dollar. Again, they're bringing the system to its knees. That means they're bringing the people to their knees. We, the people. And it's an unbelievable thing to see how people believe that the United States is an entity among itself. As a matter of fact, let me just say this. Recently, I explained to people that the United States is not the economic engine of the world. People couldn't believe it. I said, do your own research. People are still believing that the United States is the premier economic engine. It's not true. It's Asia. It's China. It's not the United States. We've lost that status. But maybe half the population, maybe half knows that's actually true. Gathering from what I learned when I said that on my this was just recently, people were going crazy. Oh, Greg, you're wrong. I said, really? How about you look it up for yourself? And then I go, my goodness, Greg, you were right. It is. They're doing this in our face. And again, the lies, the distractions, the deceptions are even getting more outrageous here. Focus on this. Don't look over there, man, because that's what they always do. And it's an incredible thing, really.
Now, let's take a closer look at why silver is considered one of the best investment opportunities out there right now. According to Gregory Mannarino and other market experts, silver is massively undervalued compared to gold and other assets. While gold often gets the spotlight, silver's price-to-value ratio makes it the sleeper asset in the precious metals market. Think about this. Silver is not just a monetary metal. It's also critical in industries like solar energy, electronics, and even medical applications. This industrial demand is only growing, and with the global shift towards renewable energy and advanced technologies, the demand for silver is expected to rise even more. Yet, despite all this, silver is still priced relatively low, making it a perfect entry point for investors looking for big upside potential. Here's a question to think about. Do you believe silver will continue to fly under the radar, or is it about to make the kind of move that could change your portfolio forever? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Are you stacking silver already? Or are you waiting for the breakout?
Of course, man, that would be the way to go. It's unfortunately, they're pushing us in that direction. It's been going on for quite a long time. And what do? They offer you perks. Don't use cash. Do this. Everything. Well, you just said that dossier that's sold. That information is obviously sold to the corporation so they can market to you in every way that they can, and in every manner. And again, look, man, what bothers me, and I know Elon Musk has a big fan base, and I get attacked by them all the time. For example, I did a video this morning and I talked negatively about Elon Musk. I don't trust the guy, never have. But the fact that he's being floated out here with Trump and then sold, this is our waste czar, one of the premier AI guys on the planet. Do you really believe that they can be sold anything? If people will buy that he's here to cut government waste, which we all understand. If I would hope so. What we're going to see after this election is debts and deficits hyperballoon more so than we're seeing now. Again, it's a destruction of the system. And you're like, the white knight does not exist. But people have become, again, they are so desperate for someone to help them out of the hole that they're in, and they'll buy anything. And that's the other thing that's a problem. There's no accountability. As you just said, when people hear things that they know that hits them the wrong way about warp speed or about AI, we got to do this, or the cryptocurrency capital of the world, not the constitutional money. Okay. They don't call out their candidate. They don't say, well, hold on a minute. Stop a second here. Why are we going to be the crypto capital of the world when we need the constitutional money system, which we've been assured by the U.S. Constitution? Silence. It's like the people have been so dumbed down. Either they can't respond, they don't want to respond because they may be their guy or their girl maybe not looked at in such a good light here. We're leading ourselves. I used to say that we're being led to our own destruction. What's happening here to the population now? That's not happening. People are now leading themselves to their own destruction here. And again, people who follow our work, they're so far ahead of the curve on this. And we are, in many ways, we're preaching to the choir. We're sitting here. They know this stuff already. Well, what I hope is people are going to listen to this video. And, of course, we're going to get detractors and naysayers. And that tells you and me that we're doing the right thing. The more pushback I get, the more I realize that I'm on target. And I'm, seriously, you get the most flack over the target, right? So again, we got to come together. We got to band together because there's going to be a select few of us here. They're going to make through it. Not everybody is. But we got to get ourselves on the right side. We got to realize that we are part of not just a solution, but a revolution. And we don't want this here. I don't know about you. In fact, I do know about you. You've had enough. The people around us have had enough of this. But unfortunately, that's where we're going, and it cannot be stopped. What do we got? It's unbelievable. We got right now these two presidential selectees selling people the same thing from a financial standpoint. We got, again, the promises. Imagine promising you low rates. You already have historically low rates, but we need them lower than they are now. During Trump's tenure, what did he ask for? And please do your own research on this, people, because I was asked to prove it, and I did. Trump was asking for negative rates and a weaker currency then. You can't make this stuff up. And this is the same guy that his followers, worshipers, should I say, is going to pull us out of this mess. No, he's pushing us deeper into it. And with Elon Musk at his side, if you cannot see where we're going, you're absolutely blind.
So, with everything we've covered, the historical value of silver, the current bullish market trends, the global surge in demand, and the manipulation of the financial system by central banks, what does it all mean? It means that silver is positioned for a massive breakout, and the signs are all pointing in the same direction. Gregory Mannarino has been crystal clear. Silver is just getting started. With central banks devaluing fiat currencies and inflation looming large, silver isn't just a safe haven. It's an investment that could see explosive gains in the near future. As demand for silver continues to rise, both for industrial use as a hedge against economic uncertainty. It's not hard to imagine silver breaking through $32, $35, or even higher in the coming months. The opportunity is right in front of us. The question is, are you going to seize it before silver takes off? Or will you wait until it's too late? Don't forget, this is not financial advice. The facts are clear. Silver's potential is undeniable, and we could be on the verge of one of the biggest price movements we've ever seen. So, if you're ready to join the silver rally, Make sure to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more updates. And remember, being informed is your greatest asset.
How about this one? Again, going back to no mention at all about the Federal Reserve monetary policy. What people are not being told, first of all, there's a blame game going on. Well, it's Trump's fault because he inflated the debt more than Obama did during his 2 terms, and Biden, obviously. Oh, it's Biden's fault because of his policies here. What inflation is a side effect of monetary policy instituted by the Federal Reserve. Okay. Presidents don't have a printing press. They don't have the ability to devalue the currency unless they're working with the Federal Reserve to create the system here. Now, again, most people, during the debate, it was a blame game. Everyone was blaming each other for everything else, but no finger pointing at the Federal Reserve. The fact that we've seen the last 3 presidents more than double the debt, and just 3 guys take everyone else before them, and now all of a sudden we're seeing inflation kick up. That's because of the lag effect. People are not being told this stuff. I would imagine that Trump, being that he went to Wharton Business School, I don't know if he learned anything except obviously to tell people where to look when they should be looking someplace else. Imagine if we had a real leader to say, hold on, everybody. This is really what's happening here. Inflation is a product of a mismanaged or maybe a deliberately managed here monetary policy system. And now we're seeing the effects of it as all this cash has made its way through a debt economy. Now it's making its way to you. This is economics 101. So the blame game continues. You cannot be made aware of who is responsible for this, and it's collectively central banks around the world who have their bases everywhere. They're under attack. You and I have been telling people this is a war. The war is against us, and we don't have a single person that's out here to tell us the truth. It's all about a deception, all about a distraction, all about a blame game. Imagine, for example, if Trump or Kamala would point their finger and say, hold on, everyone. You see, look, it's an interesting thing. You got Trump blaming Kamala blaming Trump, whatever about this. But imagine they say, hold on a minute, guys. Are you really aware of what's going on here? Who's responsible for monetary policy? Who's responsible for inflation? The lag effect. No one's been made aware of the lag effect of how long it can take cash to make its way through an economy, especially one that's dead, before it makes its way to you. We were lied to during Obama, during Trump, and during Biden. We were the envy of the world. We were watching the money velocity, or the rate at which cash moves through the economy, drop. Through the entire tenure of these 3 presidents. You can't have a booming economy or even a well-functioning economy if the money velocity isn't at least static or moving higher. We've been dropping, but imagine if one of these presidential selectees said, hold on a minute, guys, let's look at this. See, they have the opportunity to tell people the truth, but they can't. Why? Because they are working for the Fed to sell the Fed's plan. And guess what, everyone? We lose.